What's going on, everybody? So, I've just picked up some feed for my pheasants, and I actually need to do an update because a lot has happened. See, I actually lost 3 pheasants, and it wasn't like coons or anything, it was actually cannibalism. The pheasants have actually ate a couple of their siblings in there, which isn't good for me, isn't good for Riesling. She's not too happy about it. But I need to show you what I did to curve that, which was I put blinders on them. So come on in, I'll take and put this feed down and I'll show you something. There we go. So we should be all set now with feed. And Riesling, she's out here. Aren't you, Riesling? She really likes to go see the birds, but she's not allowed in to see them. She's got to stay out there. So like what I was saying there, I've done a few updates on the pheasants ahead of time, so you know they're moved out into this big chicken barn that I converted into a pheasant pen. And well, they were all running around. I thought that the spacing would keep them from really beating up on one another, but it didn't work out that hot. So I had actually 3 birds that I lost to them actually killing and eating each other. So I had blinders already bought. The reason they weren't on them was because when I had first tried to put them on after I came back from Colorado, they were too small. And they were actually flipping down over the front of the beaks of the birds, and they were not really doing anything they were supposed to. So I gave them another, I think, week or 2 there to grow, to get a little size on them. Hindsight, you know, it's 2020. I probably should have went ahead and put the blinders on the bigger birds and then let the smaller birds grow and put those on later. But I kind of wanted to do it all at once instead of just having to catch a bunch of random birds here and there. So I waited. Unfortunately, due to that, I lost a couple birds. But I'll show you here what I put on the birds, just kind of how it works, and then I'll actually show you the birds so you can see how they're looking with those. So here we go. So this is the blinder or peeper that I use on my birds. So it's real simple. It sits like this on their face so that the wider plastic pieces, they can't see directly in front of them. And that way the birds aren't pecking right on another bird, so they can only see from the side view. So they're not just honing in on like one bloody spot and just pecking them completely raw. There's these 2 little plastic pieces. You just push back on the blinders and they open up, and all that does is sit right inside the nose holes of the beak of the bird, and they really don't feel it. Whenever I was put the blinders on the bird, why, they were kind of flicking around. That, you know, it was something different to them. They didn't really like it a lot. But now, if you can see some of them, get it close up here, they're all fine. Those guys are just hanging out inside their box here still. We got other ones, they're moving around. I mean, it's not really changing the bird. They're still eating fine. That one's falling down. So I still got some smaller birds in here. I actually have one bird somewhere. Let's see. He's actually back there in the back. He doesn't have a blinder on at all, and that is because he's really small. And like that one you just seen there, it was actually falling down over his beak. So I didn't want to potentially lose him, because if you do put these in wrong, your birds can suffocate. Those do go in their nose holes. If you plug up their nose holes, well, you know what happens. But for the most part, these bigger birds, I mean, they're just moving around. Some of them are actually starting to get their colors. If you look at that guy right there in the middle, that other bird walked in front of, he's starting to get a little bit of orange on his chest. It's kind of hard to see, but they are getting big real fast. So the blinders have helped, I suppose. I had 55 birds. I lost 3, so I'm down to 52. So you can see, like on that guy there, they're starting to peck some feathers. It doesn't look nearly as red or anything since I put these on. Put them on Sunday, and today is Tuesday. So I'm hoping that maybe their feathers will start coming in. They're getting those adult feathers, starting to look a little more mature. So we'll get them cleaned up, starting looking like real birds. Oh, see that? Little rooster's clucking there. And these guys are still eating. So the blinders don't impede them on how they eat or drink. They're still eating and drinking quite a bit. So anybody that's watching this, if you enjoy the video and you want to see more, give it a thumbs up. If you really like it, share it to some friends. Maybe this would help them in raising their own pheasants, getting their own bird dog ready for training. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Other than that, hit subscribe. Have a great day.